Good evening. I'm Honorary Past Imperial Potentate Juwan L. Avery, the Administrator for the Imperial Media Relations Department. The recent senseless acts of violence in Buffalo, New York, and Uvalde, Texas are horrible. The murders of innocent children and adults in a place of learning and where we shop for food to feed our families are unthinkable. The lives of those family members and friends will never be the same again. The constant memories of their loved ones will dwell in their hearts and minds for eternity. Our schools should be a safe haven for our children. Our grocery stores should be safe enough to shop in. But yet, here we are again, fighting against gun violence. When will enough be enough? Many lives have been lost. When I think about our children, looking at future doctors, lawyers, teachers, or possibly even our future president of the United States that did not even get the chance to grow up. It's very sickening. I'll ask that all under the sound of my voice, please take part in joining us in a moment of silence to reflect on all of the lives lost, especially our young lives. Thank you for tuning in, and we hope that you enjoy the show.
Good morning across the domain.
And welcome to Lotus.
Lotus, linking others to unify Shrindom.
Today on the Lotus Show, we have the Director of Shriners as mentors and the Directress of the Daughters Imperial Mentoring Excellent Program on our show. This is your opportunity to get to know them up close and personal. No fez, no collars, just straight candid conversation. So stay tuned to find out more about this program and how it empowers our youth, one community at a time.
Yeah, one community, realizing, especially with the incident that happened out in Texas, that we're having this show here to talk about our youth. It takes a village in order to raise our youth.
That's right.
So that village includes you, and you. Now, I am your host, none other than Jerome, aka Lollipop, Alpha Root Temple number 145.
Root.
Root, you know what it is. Oasis of Columbus, Desert of Georgia, one team, Georgia strong, baby, Georgia strong.
And I am your co-host, daughter Jacque Netherland, aka Powder Puff the Clown. I am out of Moolah Court number 22. That's the Oasis of Memphis, Desert of Tennessee. The Oasis of Memphis is also the home of our Imperial headquarters, where we're under the direction of the 44th Imperial Potentate, Noble John T. Chapman, and the 49th Imperial Commanderess, daughter Paulette Brown.
Who you with?
Moolah.
All right. There we go. Now, today's show is being brought to you by two departments. One, the IMR, which is today, exactly following this show here at 12 o'clock, we'll have your Media and Marketing Workshop, Series 1. This is an event that you may not want to miss. And also, we're being brought to you by the Imperial ICE Department, which they will be talking about proper protocol this afternoon at 3 p.m. That's Eastern time, 12 o'clock Eastern for the IMR, 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern time for the ICE Department. So we're looking forward to see you there.
That's right. And if you would like for the Lotus team to market your event, please send in your 30-second video or flyer along with a brief description to PR@aeaonms.org. We would love to market your event.
Powder Puff, we've been on this show here for a year and 5 months. That's 17 months. And we have yet to have someone from the Temple Court Desert in order to come in and send their information in order for us to market them.
You know what? We want to see y'all. So send in your information so that we can market your event.
Community service now. Community service activity.
That's right.
Now, what we want y'all to do is to do us a favor.
Yep.
Drop your questions and comments in the chat pane. Chat pane. Got to my mouth dry, man. Come on, leave me alone. So drop your questions and comments in the chat pane so we can take them and forward to our guests, as well as we want you to like, comment, subscribe, and share across the world what we're doing. There we go.
Yes. Today on the Lotus Show, we will be spotlighting honorary past Imperial Commanderess, daughter Lawyanna Shelly Marshall. She is out of Amir Court number 65. That's the Oasis of Dayton, Desert of Ohio. Welcome, daughter Shelly.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Buckeye State. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm Buckeye. And we also have past potentate C. Dwayne Holman out of Pyramid Temple number 1, Oasis of Philadelphia, that is, Desert of Pennsylvania. Come on in, my guy. Come on in.
Come on in, Noble Holman.
How everybody doing?
We're doing
all right. How you doing?
I'm just fine. I'm here representing Pyramid Temple number 1 this morning and the domain.
Okay. I'm glad you're feeling better today and stuff, because I thought we were going to have to be like the Sandman and stuff and yank you from the show, man.
I'm good, Noble. I'm great.
Awesome. Well, today your first question will be a panel question. That means you both will provide a response to the question.
All right. So the first question is, daughter Marshall, what inspired you to become part of the mentoring department during your travels?
Okay. Once again, good morning. What inspired me was the fact that I got named as the chairperson in our court. And from there, I had so many great experiences working with the young people. I continued it until I finally got this appointment. So it was because I love working with kids. And so this is how I got in.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you for that passion and love for children. Noble Holman, what inspired you to be a part of Diamond's mentoring?
Okay, well, several years ago, I was approached. I actually met Thomas Hughes, who he and I we were joining deserts. We were both in education. We started a conversation. We both found out that we were both teachers and we had a love for children. So he asked me, what did I feel? How did I feel about serving as a mentor? And I said, well, I had no problem with it. I feel great about it. And I thought at that time I was going to serve merely as a temple mentor, but I didn't know that I was going to be working on such a large scale as a regional director of mentoring for the whole Northeast region. I love children. I've been working. My first job was a day camp counselor, and I really loved children then, and I still love them now. So mentoring is imperative to us because I've just retired from education 5 years ago after 24 years, and I believe that our children have an achievement gap that has to be filled, and the only people that can fill it is the people on the outside, like those of us who have the experience in education. So I'm gonna keep on working hard at mentoring our young people.
Okay. You know, to go back to what you said that you was a regional director. What is the role of the regional director?
Regional directors actually oversee the operations of each desert and oasis. They have in each desert, real quick, they have in each temple, there's a temple director. In each desert, there's a desert director, who was appointed by the deputy of the oasis, deputy of the desert. Deputy of the desert, therefore, makes sure that the operations of the Shriners as Mentors program is implemented and supported in their desert. But the temple directors are responsible to report to the deputy imperial directors. We call them the DIDs. They report to us to make sure that they're on point and make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do. But they also come to us with their questions. So hopefully we can facilitate them in an effort to expedite the jobs they have agreed to do in a manner that's uniform across the domain. So we're trying to make our process widespread throughout the domain of of the Shriners.
Okay.
I hope I answered the question. I believe
No, good. Thank you for providing clarity on that. Hey, Lotus audience, we want you to drop those temples and courts in the chat pane because the Rep Your Set segment will be coming up shortly. Daughter Marshall, you were created in 1993 and you have 29 years of service in this organization. You became the Directress of Dimes in 2011 when it was transitioning from Save One from Trouble, which is soft, to the Daughters Imperial Mentoring Excellence, which is Dime. Share with us, what is the purpose of Dime?
The purpose of Dime is to mentor our young people in the communities, in our separate communities. And we have a mission, and our mission is to empower those that may be a little less fortunate between the ages of 8 and 18. We also try to help them make good life choices and be positive as they become young adults in the community.
Yes, ma'am. That's impactful.
Okay, all right. So real quick, we're gonna take a pause for the call. We're gonna put a pin in the conversation with them, and we're gonna go real quick, and we're gonna take it. Rep your set, rep your temple, rep your core, rep your desert. Let's go. Let's get it. Come on. Run it one time.
Let's do it. Hey, we got Kamar Court number 13. April Jackson, thank you for tuning in.
I think you need to clean your glasses because I said 113, not just 13 now.
Jesus.
So we also got Noble James Woodall. What is Woodall Waddle? Good morning, Passport. James Waddle, Haley Temple, Oasis Greensboro, North Carolina, Greenboro.
Okay, we have daughter Amy Barnes out of Kinder Court, number 43. Thank you for tuning in.
We have Barbie Butler Johnson out of the country of Texas, Jacque. I guess that's how to pronounce it.
Hey, we have Sassy Clark. Thanks for tuning in, Sassy. She's out of Almaquit Court, number 199, Oasis of Tuscaloosa. My tongue
Roll
can't get it
Tide,
out.
baby. Roll
Desert of
Tide.
Alabama. Thank you for tuning in.
That's Roll Tide country. Get it right now. Good morning from past commanders, Veronica Sawyer. Set those courts. Oasis of Winston-Salem, Desert of North Carolina.
Hey, good morning, Darcella Speed. She is out of Kamar Court, number 113. Thank you for tuning in.
I see you want to clean your glasses and stuff so you can see a little better now. Good morning, daughter Sharon Winslow, illustrious commander. Hey, I see out of Nubia Court, the country of Texas, Oasis of Killeen.
Good morning, daughter Carmen. She is she's part of the Dimes Northeast region. Thank you, Deputy, for tuning in. That is Al-Tariq Court number 228. Thank you for tuning in.
Hey, Dimples. I see you up at ATL doing your third fizzle now. That's what's up.
Hey.
All right. So we get ready to dive right back into these questions and stuff in order for people to know what's going on. So This question here is for Noble Holman. All right. So how do temples calculate the hours that they spend with the child or youth, and why is it important in order for them to calculate those hours accurately?
I'm glad you asked that question. We have a very sophisticated system that's been developed by one of their daughters called the SAMS tracking program. And through this SAMS tracking program, each individual, each temple director and court directress, if I have that correct, court member who runs their Dimes program has an obligation to submit information every month at the end of each month into the SAMS tracking program. And what it does, it will calculate the hours placed in that particular format automatically. We have people we screen it. We look at the information that's input in that in SAMS track information. Look at it, see if it actually qualifies as mentoring. And once it's approved, it'll be calculated and transferred into a much larger pool of information and data collection. So therefore, at some point in time, we hope to submit it to larger corporations and solicit them for funding. They may come in and help aid and assist our organizations in giving children money, giving money to our organizations throughout the domain. So, for example, we solicit GM or Pepsi Cola or Coca-Cola or any other IBMs, any of the big companies. Just look, see that we're doing good work, and they'll say, okay, yeah, we recognize what you're doing. We recognize that it's for our young people, and we will help you based on the data you provided to us.
So real quick, so you talked about this link. If courts or temples do not have it already, how do they obtain that link in order to, camera? My bad, I'll fix that in a minute. But how do temples and courts find this link or this, whatever you're talking about, as far as for them to have it in there so they can have access to it?
Well, you can actually go onto the www.aeaonms webpage, and you'll see the area where it says Shriners as Mentors. If you go down to the bottom of that page, you'll see an icon where you click on it, it'll take you right to the SAMS tracking form. And if you have any difficulties contacting them, you should contact somebody, either your temple director, your desert director, the deputy of the Oasis, deputy of the desert, or they can contact their deputy imperial director. Okay. And if you don't know who that is, they can feel free to contact me directly.
Okay.
I have some information that can help. I have an email link that they can use, if you don't mind helping out my coworker. It's imperial.samdime@gmail.com.
I get that one more time and stuff for those that had to go and get that pencil in order to write it down and stuff. You know, you got that book out talk and stuff. So that's what I'm talking about. Look at that tech team.
Look at that tech team. Outstanding.
So
you got it. Imperial.samdime@gmail.com for information.
We have it.
Appreciate the information.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
pretty sure there's somebody out there that appreciate it as well.
Yes. Daughter Marshall, this question is for you. One of the key objectives of DIME is to help build strong communities. So how is this being done?
Oh, through both groups work together in implementing improve our social behavior skills, educational improvement, and broadening our young people's horizon. And this is through the mentoring activities that they do throughout the domain. And so far, it's working. We're happy.
Are you all able to measure the impact of those engagements?
We have, unfortunately, due to the pandemic, we don't have a whole lot of information right now. But since we've had some workshops this past year, starting I think in January to April, we're getting a lot of new and old people, courts and temples signing back up that want to get back involved. They see that we are still around. And so we're looking to see good numbers as we go forward.
Absolutely. Getting everything activated again. Yes, ma'am.
All right. So Nova Holman, going just kind of piggyback off what daughter Shelly, daughter Marshall stated and stuff. So for a temple or court that's struggling or they don't know which way to go as far as forming a SAMS program, what are some ideas in order to get them started as formulating a SAMS department, a SAMS youth group?
Well, Nova Williams, let's be mindful that both groups are uniform. A lot of times we remember now the DIMES and the SAMS program work collaboratively. They're not two separate entities, but they can function independently at times. But it is our hope that they will start to function together. So that means that the court and the temples will come together and work together to gain the proper momentum to move this program forward. However, for those who don't, mindful too, there's a lot of people in your temples and courts that are already mentoring, who are not getting credit for the mentoring work they're doing because they're not fully aware of what the SAMS and DIMES programs do. This is why we had the training seminars. We had 6 training seminars where we were indoctrinating people or informing people of what the SAMS and DIMES program are doing currently. And as we continue to develop our momentum, as per daughter Marshall, we're let's expose more and more people to what it is that we're trying to do. And because of COVID and because of the slowdown in education and other groups, we're trying to bring them back slowly but surely, so that we can educate everybody into what we do as a department. We are the SAMS and DIMES programs now, But we have been asked to eventually merge the two groups to become one.
Okay.
All right. So, all right. Question. There's something that just popped up. As far as working with the youth, so everybody has to take and submit a background check. In order for, does everybody that's part of the youth, I mean, it's part of the SAM, do they have to have a background check, or somebody there that's working with them have to have a background check?
I'll yield to my colleague for her response on the part of dimes, and then I'll respond in my part.
Okay.
Okay, sure. Yes, everyone has to have the background check. You know, the new procedure as new daughters come in is automatic. We push that if you've been involved with the program more than 5 to 3 years, that they should get it upgraded. And we use we use CenturyLink as our background check. Now, we know we have active military people out there and school teachers like myself. I have 37 years of school teaching, and I was not able to send my school teaching background check. I had to do CenturyLink. So yes, we all have to do it, and it's to keep the kids safe and us safe as well.
Okay. Understand.
Absolutely.
Actually, I'd like to add that, for example, if you want to do mentoring, for example, we work with several different groups. You go into a group, and that particular group requires a different type of background check. Then you're going to have to comply to the requirements of that group, or not work with those children. I mean, the Salvation Army, the YMCA, School District of Philadelphia, they may require different background checks than we ask for as an organization. If that's the case, then you're going to have to comply to their requests. I mean, that's all there is to it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that information.
Not a problem.
Lotus audience, please drop your questions in the chat pane for our guests. They're putting out some really great information, but if you have questions that has not been asked yet, please drop them in the chat pane for us. Daughter Marshall, what type of life and social competency skills are being taught to the youth?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. Of course, the basics, just how to be a clean and healthy young individual. We want to talk to our young people about being safe, their safety, their habits in their lives and in the community. We also try to encourage our young people to be self-confident. If you're confident about yourself, then you have to go out there and do a great job at whatever it is you want to do. With the social skills of self-worth is another thing that we try to advocate through our program. And then the positive interaction and the communication with others. Those types of skills are valuable throughout life. And so we really push those with our young people. And remember, they're as young as 8 to 18. So there's different levels that you may work with. Something that you may tell an 18-year-old wouldn't really apply to an 8-year-old. But as they grow and hopefully stay in the program, they will get all those skills through us.
That's outstanding. Self-esteem is something that our youth struggle with all the cyberbullying and everything that's going on. So to be an extension, to be able to help youth in those areas, I think is outstanding.
Also, a quick question then. So there's a manual that's out there in order to guide temples and courts. Is there one manual, or is it two different manuals? One for the daughters, one for the SAMs, or are they taking and merging those two? If they are two, are they merging those two, or how do they obtain that manual?
Great question. Initially, there were two separate ones. We are in the process of merging them, but pretty much they say the same thing. It's just it may say young men in the men's side, and on the lady side, it will say young women. But we're getting ready, as we're literally adding them both together. They will probably say children or youth, because we're talking about both sets of kids.
Okay. So they'll be able to obtain that on the website, or is something that every temple and court will get an email to that, or what?
Ultimately, it will be available on the website. Those things are going to be coming up soon. We're excited because we are combining them, and it's turning out great. And so just tell everybody to just watch out. They will be seeing a website for the SAM and Dime program, and I think they'll be pleased.
Okay. She said, "Watch out there now." All right.
Question, Noble Holman. How often does one need to obtain a background check? And does everyone, for everyone that works with kids, how often does that have to be done?
Again, that would be pretty much predicated on the institutions or groups that they're working with. Some may require annual background checks. Some may require every 3 years. You have to check with the institution that you're working with to find out. Because as a retired as a former educator, school teacher, school district of Philadelphia, we were required to get background checks every 3 years. However, since a lot of abuse has been taking place with children and stuff, they've changed the rules. Now it's annually. So, given that CenturyLink is a more affordable form of background check, it's like 20, I think it's $19.99 a year. It might be prudent to get an annual checkup just to make sure that you meet the requirements of the leased domain. However, again, if you work with different institutions like the Salvation Army, the YMCA, the Boys Clubs of America, they may have their own requirements, and if that's the case, they may ask for annual modifications or updates to their background clearances.
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you for the information and stuff. All right. So once again, put in the chat pane that's over yonder. Okay. That way. Put in the chat pane your temples, your courts, your oases, your deserts.
Yes.
Hey, this time we're gonna about to rip you up, about to set it off in this.
Let's set it off. Let's do it.
Set it off. Set it off.
You gotta raise your hand like this.
When he comes back, then.
All right, so we're gonna get our guests to interact with this piece right here and stuff. So set it off, daughter Shelly.
Okay, I have a daughter, Tony McNair, honorary past commanders, chief deputy of the director of Dimes Imperial. Slow down. Okay, daughter Tony McNair, honorary past commanders, chief deputy Imperial directors of the Dimes program, Newbie Court number 250, Oasis of Williamsburg, Virginia. She's watching.
All right. We got
you want to shout your daughter out and stuff. That ain't what was on the screen there, but you want to shout your daughter out.
You can't see it on the screen?
No.
Okay, we got Sain Court, number 193 in the house. Thank you for tuning in.
Okay, we got daughter Shreya Bernstein Andrews from Thieves Court number 191, Oasis of Nuremberg, Desert of Western Europe, Dimes chairperson. Hey, how you doing?
Thank you for tuning in.
So we got daughter Maggie Caldwell Freeman, past commanders, Thieves. Oasis of Nuremberg, Desert of Western Europe.
All right, we got daughter Sharita Anderson, Oasis of Tuskegee, Desert of Alabama.
Skiggy.
We got Kedar Temple, number 16 in the house. Thank you for tuning in.
All right now.
We got Keisha Williams. My son, court number 71. Got Florida in the house.
What's going on, Keisha?
We got daughter Turner from Alizar Court number 181. Thank you for tuning in.
All right. We got Michelle Stewart. Good morning. Daughter Stewart is a doctor. That's your daughter, Dr. Michelle Stewart. She's from Arabic Court number 21, Oasis of Chicago, Chi-Town, Desert of Illinois. How you doing, daughter?
Thank you for tuning in.
Uh-huh.
We got good morning, beautiful people. Thank you, saying I'm beautiful. Hey, daughter Joe Smith, second lieutenant, Radio Court number 25, Duval.
Hey, we have daughter Strawberry Williams for Al-Tabari Court number 28, Oasis of Albany, Desert of New York. Thank you for tuning in.
Hey, Strawberry. All right. Let's jump back into these questions and stuff. This here is very exciting to me to talk about our youth and stuff. So I'm gonna come to daughter Marshall. since she wanted to shout her daughter out and stuff. I ain't mad at you and stuff. I ain't mad. If my son was there or my daughter was there, I'd be shouting them out too and stuff. Bump what's on that screen. But
the only problem was I couldn't see it, or I would have been helping you guys out. It's not showing up on my screen. But okay,
you need to borrow my glass. You need to borrow my glasses.
It's not there. Come on, what's your question?
You're trying to rush me now and stuff. Okay, all right, cool. All right, so during the Imperial session, are there any collaborative efforts between the two programs?
And you're talking about between Sam and Dine's program?
Correct.
Absolutely. This year, we're excited. We're going to be doing a joint collaborative. I can't give you a date right now. We're looking for it to be on a Sunday, but absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. Well, I have a question for you, Noble Holman. Can you share what are some of the positive impacts of both programs or this unified program?
Well, as of right now, due to the slowdown due to COVID, we've been shut down for nearly 3 years now, so we can't really put in a measure. But I do know this, I've only been the director since 2020, December 2020.
Okay.
But I do know that I work with programs since 2018. But here's the deal. What we're trying to do is make sure that our children are being treated to programs like where they're improving their STEM, their science, technology, and math programs in their schools. We're trying to make sure, as Daughter Marshall clearly pointed out, we're trying to give these children a reason to feel good about their self-esteem. So we're having self-esteem initiatives being implemented. We're doing a worldwide spread of information to the different groups throughout the domain that let them know that the SAMs and DIME are back on track and that we're fully implementing programs throughout the domain to make sure that everybody can reach out to us and find out what it is they need to know and what they should be doing. And manuals, a collaborative manual will be available in the very near future. As a matter of fact, once we have our joint meeting in August at the Imperial Council session, we hope to release that manual and everybody have a fuller understanding what it is they're expected to do. But we do want everybody to understand that we are a mentoring program and that we want to make sure that our children, first and foremost, have the necessary skills to make it into adulthood. This is a life preparing process. Okay, we want to make sure that they are learning the basics like reading, writing, and math, reading, writing, and arithmetic. You know, as an educator, both our daughter Marshall and our educators, we want to make sure that our children can at least read and write and do math.
Right. Absolutely.
So that's the very basics, you know, and then everything else is just gravy on top of the icing on top of the cake.
Absolutely. Just to follow up to that. So does the program follow the growth of the youth that participate in the program? Because I mean, you all are doing some amazing things. And I know we've been in a COVID setting, but prior to COVID, and you both can speak to this question, do you follow the growth of the children that has been a part of this program?
Well, that's a new part. That's a new part of the SAMs tracking program. Our daughter Marshall, daughter McNair, actually has implemented a process in the SAMs tracking program. But when you fill out the application to enroll the child into the SAMs tracking program, and we pick them up at a certain age level. We document the age level. Every year that they remain in the program, we monitor them. Be mindful of this. This whole program is to help us to stimulate our children all the way through at the time where they may grow up and want to say, well, because I was in this program, I want to become a Mason or I want to become a Shriner. Because we have in order for us to foster growth in our organization, we need to have programs like this that say, well, I remember what the Masons and the Shriners did for me as a child, and this is what I want to do. So we're going to try to follow these children all the way, not only from, let's say we pick them up at 8 years old, we want to try to follow them all the way through their early years in college.
Outstanding. Daughter Shelly.
Perfect. I do have a story to go with that. I have a young lady that was in the program, and she grew up and she became a teen mom, and but she's doing well because she keeps in contact with me. And just probably 3 months ago, she called me and asked, what's the age to join it? Because I want my daughter to be a part of it. So there was some positive influences made by our organization to that young lady that now she wants her daughter. She still got 3 more years, but now she wants her daughter to be a part of it because we were there for her. You know, we didn't try to judge. We didn't try to be her mom. We just wanted to be there for her, questions that she may have asked. that we were able to guide her in the right direction so she can make good choices. And so far, she's doing great. And I'm pleased that, and I just happened to, at the time, I was her mentor. So it feels good that she reached back. So we don't, like he said, we are getting ready to start really keeping up with our young people, but that young individual still keeps up with me.
Amen.
Outstanding. You know, one thing I can truly say is, you know, this program is making an impact. And when you talk about legacy, the mom was in the program, and you know, it did so much for her that she wanted her daughter to be a part of the program. That speaks volume. Lollipop, what do you think?
And I think that's great. And I love the way that you all have started taking and decided to want to take and track them from the program until they are after 18. And like I said, once a kid sees something positive, a lot of times they want to end up being part of something positive.
Right.
So that's outstanding. And I see that Noble Holman, you say you became director in 2020. So you came right out the seat as the potentate in December, right into the hot seat as the director and stuff in 2020, since you served in 2020. But I got a question for both of you all. So as a mentor, what values are important to you? And we're going to start with daughter Marshall.
Oh, values that are important to me is communication is really important. You have to be able to build a rapport with the young kids.
Yes.
And once you build that rapport, usually they follow suit. Now, the program wasn't for everybody through my own experience, because like we said, I was the court chairperson from 1997 to 2011. And so I saw them come and go. But once you're able to communicate and build a rapport with them, most of them did stay. And they did because they respected what we were trying to do for them. They respected the fact that we actually cared. And I honestly can say they respect the fact that we weren't trying to be their parents. We were just trying to be a supporting role with their parents. And that was important to me. And that helped me stay a part of it, because I saw the change in some of the young people because they responded. You know, they didn't have to come. It wasn't mandatory. They chose to, and their parents chose to have them involved. So that communication is important.
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right. So, Noah Holman.
All right. So, like I said, many of our young people that come through our program are children. They're at risk. They have negative feelings about themselves, perform poorly in school, and oftentimes engage in dangerous behavior. Many of them live in families where parents are coping with their own problems and are not available to provide guidelines and support. This is where we come in. We step in, and we're like that intermediary group of people. We come in and say, okay, look, we're going to help you. We're going to step in and help the parents, but the parents can't help themselves. Because be mindful of this. If we send your child, the school sends your child home with a math problem, and the parent itself doesn't have the skills to help the child do the math, then the child's going to continue to fail because the child's not getting the support at home. So this is where we're trying to get programs with the different Shriners and Mentors and the Dines programs as a mentoring group to help these children fill in those gaps. We're actually filling in the gaps in many cases. Some of the kids don't even live with their parents at all. You know, the mentoring programs offer the youth potentials to overcome hurdles and to cope with problems and learn the basic skills that they will become healthy and productive adults. We want our children to become qualified citizens in their various communities, contributors to the community. And we want them to feel good about what it is they're doing, wherever it is they're doing, okay? And although the concept of mentoring has been around since the time of the Greeks, the growing need for the disadvantaged in this country prompted new interest in mentoring in the late 1980s. And we're trying to extend it now into the 2020s because anybody who's been in education knows there's an achievement gap that exists between the African American and Hispanic children and the whites and the privileged. And because of the pandemic, that gap is wide and substantial.
Absolutely. You know, I think it's really great that both of you are mentors and you all are able to evaluate the opportunities to close the gap with our youth, seeing what they need. I think it's outstanding that you all can offer that.
Well, can I add one more thing to what he just said, which was absolutely correct? The other thing is we also invite the parents to come in. Yeah. Because again, like I said, they're behind the gap too. And that really helps because once the parents can see that, oh, this is good, and my child's learning and I'm learning as well. So we don't leave the parents out. They're always welcome to come if they can. It's not all the time, but it really helps out when they can see what we're really trying to do with the kids and helping them advance, especially in school. So it's a well-rounded organization.
Yes, it is. Providing that transparency is important.
Yes.
Yes. I have a question regarding the tracking system. I know, Daughter Marshall, you shared the unique system that you all use for tracking. Can you share that with the Lotus audience?
Sure. SamTrack is how we get our information from throughout the domain about what's happening in the courts and the temples. And what it does is it helps us know what types of activities we need to pull together. Once we listen and read what they're doing, we sometimes share with other courts. You know, when the DIDs get together, they put together information and we send it out to the other courts because it was a good process or a good program that they instituted. And so that's how we communicate it out to our different courts and temples, because we see what everybody's doing. And if somebody's not doing something, then we also get in contact with them and say, what can we do to help you? Because our goal is to make sure that our nobles and daughters are well informed about how they can help in the community with their youth groups. And if they don't have one, then our job is to try to help them to start one. And it starts at home.
Okay. It does start at home. Who developed that system for you? For the program?
The SamTrack program?
Yes.
And I'm not boasting, but it was already in place when we joined up with the gentleman. But then Daughter McNair, because that's her background, was able to go in and improve it. And each year it has just improved. We took out a lot of unnecessary questions and tried to put in the correct questions so we could get to the point. And then the way that people can find their links to get to their different deserts, it's awesome. It's awesome because it's so easy now. If you can't do it, then you need to be retrained.
Okay. Understand. All right, so we got a question coming from the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what that question is. The question is, once background check is submitted, when will we receive the clearance letter? This is from Stormy J. Whoever Stormy J is, don't call us no Storm now. So, Daughter Marshall, we won't hit you with this question here.
Sure. Once they submit it to Imperial, they do not submit it to their directors or anybody or to their courts or anything. They send it directly to Imperial, and then Imperial will send them, well, I believe they send it to their court, and then their court will let them know that they have been cleared. Now, time frame, I cannot say. Sometimes it happens quickly. Other times it takes a while. And if you haven't received it within a month, I will call.
Okay.
Good deal. Well, it's time for the Who You With segment of the show. So drop those temples and courts in the chat pane and let us give you a shout out.
Hey. Let's get it. Bam. We got Noble Spearman, Zaha, Temple on 52, Omaha, Nebraska. They got temples in Nebraska.
We got Daughter Shawanda Clark, Al Kareem, number 219, Oasis of Riverdale, Desert of Georgia. Thank you for tuning in.
Amazing. We got Daughter Janelle Andrews. Good morning from Maysap Court, number 174, non-committee.
Hey, we got Daughter Sharita Anderson out of Mizram Court, number 110, Oasis of Tuskegee, Desert of Alabama.
Tuskegee. All right, so we got Daughter Valerie R. Johnson. That's who that stormy person is. Out of Stokeland Court, Oasis of Augusta, Desert of Georgia Strong, baby.
Hey, hello, daughters and nobles. Great information. Noble Thomas James, Ahmed Temple, number 37, and Daughter Lorraine James, Ahmed Court, number 134. Thank you for tuning in, Lorraine.
Tell good morning. Daughter Cherie A. Dace. High Priestess, Arabic Court, number 21, Oasis of Chicago, Desert of Illinois, Chi-Town, baby.
Arabic. We got Menelik Temple, number 36. Thank you for tuning in.
know your name, but we thank you. Daughter Karen Washington, Amon Ra Court, number 225. Good morning. Okay,
Good
North Kakalaki.
Yes, we have Teresa Peace from Emron Court, number 55, out of the Oasis of Henderson, Desert of North Carolina. Thank you, Teresa, for tuning in.
Daughter Audrey R. Marshall, Harris, Leeds Court, number 191, Western Nuremberg, Desert of Western Europe.
Good morning. We have daughter Jacqueline Greco out of Moolah, Oasis of Memphis, Desert of Tennessee. Thank you for tuning in.
All right. Oh, so thank you all for coming in. This has been a very informative show. Now we're gonna go back to our guests, get their final thoughts and comments. Any last minute last minute comments that you want to give, or a quick question that we didn't ask you that you want to let the audience know. So we're gonna start with you, daughter Marshall.
30 seconds.
Okay. Hey, can't help but send a shout out to my team. You guys are awesome. You know who you are. Just keep up the good work, and we'll see you at Imperial.
All right, all right.
30 seconds.
I want to take this opportunity to thank you guys once again for inviting daughter Marshall and I on the program today. It gave us an opportunity to make the information regarding the Shriners and Mentors and Daughters Imperial Mentoring Excellence a chance to showcase their skills and what was going on in the program. Thank you very much. God bless you one and all. And I look forward to seeing you both everyone at the Imperial Council session in August.
Absolutely. Today's episode was brought to you by the Media and Marketing Workshop Series 1. Tune in today at 12 noon, immediately following this show. And remember, registration is required. Tune in today at 12.
All right. Now, don't forget now, if you're interested in being spotlighted on the show, send your bio to pr@aeaonms.org and stuff. And so we can take a look out for you. All
Absolutely. Right? Tune in to the next episode of Lotus on June the 25th. We have great information coming your way.
So once again, we thank you. This is a surreal show, especially since with the incident happened in Texas with the young kids being killed. And here we are today. It just so happened that God put us here in order to talk about our youth. So if you have any questions for our team, once again, what's that email address?
It's pr@aeaonms.org.
Okay. All right. So we thank you all for tuning in. And until next time.
Until next time, peace,
love,
and stay safe.
We'll see you later.
Bye.